Time is running out, and I say that for a couple of reasons about Bitcoin, and so I'm going to be explaining that in this video, as there's a lot of people wondering what's going on out there. What is happening with Bitcoin? Why is the price dropping down after we saw 19 days of inflows, right? We saw 19 days of inflows in the Bitcoin ETF, and yesterday we had the first outflow in the 19 days. However, the price did not go up substantially over those 19 days. However, we see 1 day of outflows and the price of Bitcoin is dropping. And so in this video, I'm going to be explaining what is going on, what I think is happening, and showing some data to back that. Now, if you enjoy this content, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. And also, make sure to check out the link underneath the video to Weeks. This is a new trading platform here that I have partnered with, and they offer spot and futures trading. So they have some of those altcoin gems on here that you can buy. They also have an event going on for the WXT token, where just by signing up, you can earn 500 tokens. And so when this does launch, there is potential that this could be worth $50 just by signing up and providing an email. There is no KYC required, and then you can do other transactions here as well to earn more WXT token. And so I definitely recommend checking this out, as I think this could be a very good opportunity. And so let's go ahead and take a look at some information here on the Bitcoin ETF. One thing I do want to talk about that I find very interesting on this analytics page here is the huge increase of profit that we saw last week. And so no one is talking about this. This information actually got deleted off of this website, whether it is a glitch or it was leaked information. But we saw a huge spike in profit from BlackRock. They had about $3 billion in profit, and then this spiked all the way up to $20 billion. And so they saw an increase in profit of $17 billion. Now, is BlackRock shorting Bitcoin and becoming profitable? Did they accumulate Bitcoin at $20,000 and now they are selling the Bitcoin that they have stockpiled for $60,000, $70,000 to people that are buying their Bitcoin ETF? And so there's a lot of questions out there regarding this. And so I find this very interesting here, especially because this information did get deleted. It is no longer available. I just have this webpage still open here from the past when I was looking at this information. And so let's go ahead and take a look at the chart here. We can see that the Bitcoin ETF went live on January 10th. Now, what would stop BlackRock or Grayscale or any of the other ETF funds for Bitcoin from accumulating Bitcoin at these prices, down to $15,000 up to $40,000? They could be continuing to accumulate, have a reserve of Bitcoin, and then they could be using that Bitcoin to sell to the people that want to buy the Bitcoin ETF. And so they're making profit off that. They might buy it for $30,000, and today they're selling it for $69,480. So they're making 100% profit by selling Bitcoin that they purchased early on. And so that could be one way the price is not going up. They actually have a stockpile or a reserve of Bitcoin. Or Coinbase has a reserve of Bitcoin as well, and they are buying that from Coinbase, and then they're selling it for the Bitcoin ETF to BlackRock or other ETF funds. And so this is definitely something that could be taking place, which has not affected the price of Bitcoin substantially yet. There's been a lot of bullish news, and as I mentioned, there was 19 days of inflows. You would think that we'd see a higher push up on the price of Bitcoin. We could have the hedge funds shorting against Bitcoin as well. That's something that could be happening. However, let's take a look at the inflows of Bitcoin, right? The number of Bitcoin being mined on a weekly basis is 3,150. However, in week 22 here, the number of Bitcoin bought by the ETFs is 25,729. And so the number of Bitcoin is a set number until the next halving, then it will get reduced again. You cannot turn on the money printer for Bitcoin and just make more. And so there's going to be a point where there is no more Bitcoin in their stockpile where they can just keep pulling from. They're going to have to start buying it off the open market, right? Or buying it from miners. However, miners don't have that much to buy, right? So where are they getting all this Bitcoin from? And so there's definitely a lot of questions out there regarding the Bitcoin ETF. I think eventually we are going to see a supply shock with Bitcoin, right? Time is running out. Eventually they're going to run out of whatever stockpile they have. Obviously, we do not know how much that is. However, when the time comes, we're going to see a huge supply shock, which is going to drive up the price substantially. Now, that might not be for another 2 years, right? They could continue to hold the price of Bitcoin down until there comes a point when there is a supply shock. We're starting to see corporations holding Bitcoin, right? We're seeing more and more people continuing to buy Bitcoin, as did MicroStrategy, right? They have a huge position of Bitcoin. We're seeing other companies start buying Bitcoin, and as they continue to hold it and buy Bitcoin, the supply is only going to be reduced, and then we're going to see a huge increase in the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. So we can see here, just a couple of months ago, banks seek to purchase Bitcoin directly from Bitcoin mining firm Hut8, says CEO, right? And so earlier, banks were approaching the miners to buy Bitcoin. And so they may not have stockpiled it early on. However, they want to buy it without buying it off the open market. And so they maybe have been trying to purchase it from the Bitcoin miners. However, some Bitcoin miners do not want to sell it at these prices. Maybe they know that it's going to go up to $150,000 to $200,000. That might be the cycle top, and that is when they're going to sell it. And so right now, they're continuing to accumulate by buying more Bitcoin. In addition to that, some other news that is coming up tomorrow here, as I mentioned, time is running out. We have the Fed meeting and inflation report that is going to hit Wednesday. This information will be announced at 8:30 Eastern time, and this could have a huge impact on Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency markets. We can see that the European Central Bank here kicked off the rate cutting cycle, and so they dropped their rates by 25 basis points, right? And in addition to that, last week, we also saw Canada here become the first G7 nation to cut interest rates. Again, they also cut rates by 25 basis points. And so it will be interesting tomorrow to see what the inflation information comes back at and if we will be getting a rate cut as well. This would be very bullish for the entire cryptocurrency market. And so one other thing I want to take a look at here, since we were talking about Bitcoin and institutions, if we take a look at the volume on Coinbase, we can see that the majority of the volume on Coinbase is institutional. And so I personally think that Coinbase would have a lot of retail volume. However, Coinbase has a ton of institutional volume last quarter. And so we can even see that in the past as well. In Q4 2021, we saw a massive amount of institutional volume. And so institutions have been involved in cryptocurrencies for a very long time. And I am confident that they're buying many different altcoins as well. I have mentioned those in my videos, as I'm always looking for cryptocurrencies that have utility and can have an impact on the overall economy today. If we take a look at this here, we can see the Coinbase trade volume share by asset. Now in Q1 2024, we can see that Bitcoin accounted for 33%. We have Ethereum accounting for 13%, and the remainder here at 54% is accounted by altcoins. Now institutions are definitely buying altcoins here. This is definitely some interesting information to be paying attention to, and so definitely make sure to subscribe to the channel to keep up to date on those cryptocurrencies that institutions may be buying. And so if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for future content. And make sure to check out that link underneath the video, 2 weeks, to claim the WXT token. Like I mentioned, you can sign up and just using an email, and you can claim the 500 WXT airdrop, which could potentially be worth $50. And so all you have to do is just sign up using the email. And so thanks so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next video.